Welcome to the deep dive. I'm sure many of you listening today have felt that quiet, almost insidious ping in your inbox.
Oh, yeah. That email.
That email that starts with, "Thank you for your interest." And you just
Yeah.
know, right? It ends with, "We have decided to move forward with other candidates."
Mm-hmm. It's a familiar feeling for way too many people.
It really is. It's become incredibly familiar, and it's this stark personal reality that often clashes so sharply with the headlines, you know? The
Uh,
ones screaming about a labor shortage or a talent deficit.
It's a total paradox.
It is. It makes you wonder if you're living in a completely different reality sometimes. It feels like trying to navigate this maze where the map keeps changing and the exits, well, they're rarely where you expect them to be.
Yeah, it's disorienting.
So today we're embarking on a journey into, well, a really rich collection of observations and reflections about this whole evolving world of work, talent, and yeah, the often misunderstood, sometimes contradictory role of artificial intelligence.
AI is definitely part of the mix now.
For sure. And what makes our source material so potent, so essential for our deep dive today, is that it comes from this unique, deeply empathetic perspective. It's someone who hasn't just observed these struggles, they've lived through them.
That lived experience makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Grounds the analysis.
Absolutely. It profoundly shapes their insights into the very fabric of our modern economic landscape. So our mission today is to try and cut through the immense noise, to pull out the core insights, the surprising truths maybe, and the truly practical takeaways that can help you, the listener, make sense of this confusing, often frustrating landscape.
Yeah, move beyond the headlines.
Exactly. This isn't just about parsing abstract statistics or economic theories. It's a deeply personal account that then zooms out, broadens to critically examine systemic issues that affect all of us.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got some incredibly potent insights today that really challenge how we think about the job market, talent, and even the promise and the pitfalls of AI. What particular aspects of that personal journey for you really resonated or seemed revealing about these bigger systemic issues?
Well, that's a crucial observation, and it's precisely what makes this source material so compelling, I think. What's fascinating here is the journey from a very personal, challenging experience, the kind of lived reality that, frankly, so many people quietly endure, to this profound, almost philosophical questioning of fundamental assumptions about employment.
Right. It's not just my problem, it's the problem. Exactly. It really makes you consider the why behind what millions are experiencing. It moves beyond just individual struggles to much larger systemic observations. And the source offers this unique lens, doesn't it? It blends that raw personal experience with some sharp analytical critique, which is just invaluable for understanding the current state of affairs and how deeply intertwined our personal well-being is with these, well, economic structures.
So the author's account kicks off with something incredibly raw and honest, that quiet ping of rejection we just mentioned. It describes what it's like to be one of those individuals who consistently receives those impersonal, often, templated rejection emails. And it leads to this gnawing question, what's the point of continuing?
Uh-huh. A devastating question to read.
It really is. It's a question born from sheer exhaustion, deep disillusionment, and just a profound sense of powerlessness. Imagine dedicating countless hours, customizing each application, meticulously crafting cover letters, enduring the silence, and then finally, that succinct impersonal rejection.
It's soul-crushing.
The author details the specific agony of knowing you have the skills, the drive, but you consistently hit this brick wall. It's brutal.
And the scale of this challenge is, well, it's almost unfathomable for those who haven't been through it. The author describes sometimes sending hundreds of applications
Hundreds.
in a single job search just to receive one offer. Imagine that ratio. Hundreds of efforts, maybe months of dedicated work for a single uncertain opportunity.
It's staggering.
It really is. And this isn't just like a bad week or two. It's a systemic erosion of self-worth that chips away over months, maybe even years. That ratio isn't just a statistic. It's a testament to the immense personal cost of simply trying to participate in the workforce. It creates this relentless, soul-crushing effort with just minimal return.
And it goes beyond just that initial hurdle of getting an offer, doesn't it? The source vividly reveals the instability that can follow.
Yeah, finding the job is only half the battle.
Exactly. The author describes situations where, after finally securing a job, they were compelled to agree to leave within half a year.
Wow, so no real stability even then.
None. This isn't just about finding a job, it's about the struggle to maintain any kind of stability once you've found one. It's a precarious existence, really, offering little peace of mind. The author mentions having no experience with unemployment until a few years prior, but then, paradoxically, the more jobs they took, perhaps out of necessity, taking what they could get,
Right, the pressure is immense.
the longer the subsequent periods of unemployment became. It just paints this picture of a system that's not only incredibly hard to get into, but also offers increasingly tenuous security. It pushes individuals into this vicious cycle of temporary roles and extended job searches.
That increasing length of unemployment,
Yeah.
even after gaining new experience,
Yeah.
that really hits hard. But what's even more impactful, I think, and truly underlines the high stakes involved, is the emotional and psychological toll described.
Mm.
The author speaks of reaching a breaking point with mental pressure, especially when family depends on you.
Oh, absolutely. That pressure must be unbelievable.
It's not just a personal career setback.
Yeah.
It's a direct threat to the very well-being and stability of an entire family. The weight of providing just falls squarely on the shoulders of the job seeker. And in a really poignant detail, the author reveals receiving a diagnosis, a developmental disorder diagnosis, during one of these periods of prolonged unemployment.
Wow.
That alone speaks volumes, doesn't it? About the extreme stress, the vulnerability, the sheer mental anguish that can come with extended job searching. External pressures combine with personal challenges to create this overwhelming burden. It really makes you pause and consider the unseen pressures so many individuals face.
Yeah, it really does. And what resonates with me here profoundly is the powerful revelation that it was the family. The family became the absolute driving force for survival.
The anchor.
The author directly states that if it weren't for their family, they might have made the decision to end their life.
That's incredibly stark.
It is. And it's not just a commentary on the job market or economic policy. It's a profound statement on the human cost of these systemic issues. It emphasizes the utterly critical, life-sustaining nature of finding stable employment for so many individuals, and how the current system can push people to their absolute limits.
It really puts it in perspective.
It's a sobering reminder that for many, job seeking isn't just about a career path or even a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's about basic survival and the fundamental well-being of their loved ones. It's a stark, undeniable truth that often gets lost, I think, in the broader economic discussions.
Absolutely. So we're constantly told there are jobs everywhere.
Right.
There's this labor shortage.
Right, you hear it all the time.
But this experience tells a vastly different and frankly heartbreaking story. It's like you said, two different realities playing out simultaneously, one in the news, another in people's actual lives. The central paradox couldn't be clearer. News articles, employment reports, constantly announcing talent shortages, positions that supposedly cannot be filled. Yet job seekers like the author face relentless rejections, often without even getting a human response.
It's absurd. It feels almost Kafkaesque, doesn't it?
It really does. And this raises that important question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, how can such a fundamental disconnect exist? It suggests a profound miscommunication, or maybe misalignment, in how we define talent and need in the marketplace today.
Indeed. And the source phrases it so powerfully. Those looking for talent reject job seekers. Those seeking jobs can't even see those looking for them.
That captures it perfectly. A total disconnect.
And this isn't just a temporary imbalance, right? The author describes it as a game that continues forever, hinting at this dysfunctional, self-perpetuating cycle where neither side truly connects. It leads to immense frustration and inefficiency for everyone involved.
A game. It's a bleak way to put it, but it feels accurate sometimes.
It forces us to question the very mechanisms and assumptions underlying our modern hiring practices. The source pushes us, I think, to consider if companies are perhaps too rigid in their requirements. Maybe seeking unicorns that don't actually exist.
Chasing perfection.
While overlooking perfectly capable individuals whose skills might not fit neatly into some predefined automated box, or conversely, are job seekers not adequately showcasing their true strengths in ways that these traditional systems can recognize?
It could be both sides, couldn't it?
Could be. The game that continues forever hints at this systemic inertia where both sides are sort of stuck in outdated patterns, unable to bridge this chasm.
Precisely. And just when you think this rat game, as the source calls it, of traditional job searching couldn't get any more frustrating, another player, a technological game changer, enters the field. Artificial intelligence.
Ah, yes, AI. The supposed solution, or maybe not.
Well, the source describes AI emerging after this prolonged, often demoralizing traditional job search struggle. And initially, there was this widespread public reaction. Predominantly fear, actually.
Well, I remember that. The robots are taking our jobs!
Exactly. People everywhere started to vocalize concerns about their jobs being displaced, about machines taking over human roles. And this led to a kind of, well, a boom and bust cycle within the AI industry itself. New AI companies popping up rapidly, fueled by investment and hype,
Everywhere you looked, a new AI startup.
only to be eliminated just as quickly as the initial enthusiasm wore off, or the technology didn't immediately deliver on its grand promises. A really turbulent landscape for a while there.
And what's fascinating here is this societal shift that followed that initial period of fear and volatility. There was this pronouncement, almost like a decree, wasn't there, that those who master AI will build the next era.
The narrative shifted.
It really did. This wasn't just a tech trend, it became a massive social phenomenon. Individuals proactively trying to stay relevant and competitive in a market that felt increasingly stacked against them surged into self-studying and adopting AI tools.
People scrambling to upskill.
Totally. People dedicated significant personal time, resources, weekends, evenings, their own savings to upskill, enrolling in online courses, experimenting with new software, really believing this was the key to unlocking future opportunities and maybe escaping that rat game.
Which shows incredible initiative, right? Adaptability.
It really highlights the adaptability and foresight of individuals trying to navigate this rapidly changing professional landscape, leaning into a perceived solution with earnest effort.
But then,
Yeah.
here's where it gets truly unexpected. Almost an unbelievable twist in the narrative.
Okay, I'm listening.
Just when we thought AI was the answer, the new frontier for job seekers, it seems to become another layer of the problem, almost a complete reversal of what we were led to believe.
Really? How so?
Because then, counterintuitively, research started to emerge suggesting that AI reliance, particularly in creative or analytical tasks, maybe led to less brain use, a potential loss of critical thinking and creativity.
Oh, interesting. The dependency critique.
Exactly. And this shifted the public discourse again. And following that, the source describes this subsequent, truly paradoxical trend. Companies actually began rejecting candidates who openly used, or maybe worse, relied heavily on AI in their applications or portfolios.
Wait, what? After telling everyone to master AI?
Precisely. It's a baffling turn of events for those who invested so heavily in mastering these tools.
It truly is. And this situation exposes a profound, almost stunning hypocrisy described in the source.
Yeah, the double standard is glaring.
The very companies that begin rejecting AI users in their hiring processes are often the ones providing AI-heavy systems themselves, integrating AI into their own operations, their tools, even their applicant tracking systems.
Right. It's completely inconsistent.
The author asks pointedly, if they seek a world without AI, why are their own systems riddled with it? Which is a great question. It highlights the significant, almost absurd disconnect between what organizations preach about future skills and what they actually practice in their hiring.
It creates even more confusion and frustration for job seekers just trying to adapt to what they think the market demands.
Of course. It forces us to question not just the technology itself, but our relationship with it, doesn't it? And how we assess its value in the whole human equation.
Yeah.
Are we truly thinking critically about integrating AI, or are we just reacting to perceived threats and trends without deeper consideration, creating these double standards that punish individuals for trying to keep pace?
That's a powerful indictment of the double standards at play, isn't it? And it leads to this frustrated, almost urgent plea from the author. A rallying cry that really resonates throughout the source material. Wake up.
Wake up!
We've had decades to ask about the essence. The answer has always been there.
Wow, that hits hard.
It does. And that statement isn't just a call to attention. It's a powerful setup for the crucial revelation that follows. It signals that we've been looking in the wrong places, chasing the wrong metrics, buying into temporary fads, and that the fundamental truths about success, talent, and organizational strength have been right under our noses all along, perhaps just obscured by complexity and misconception.
So the answer isn't newfangled AI or some complex algorithm.
It implies the solutions aren't new or complex at all, but rather deeply fundamental principles we may have forgotten or maybe just overlooked.
Okay, this is where the entire narrative shifts then, where the core of this deep dive truly begins to unfold. It challenges the very paradigm we've been operating under for decades. It sounds like it's not about finding the superstar, is it?
Not primarily, no.
It's about creating the ecosystem where anyone can be a hero by simply being in the right place doing what they do best. Is that the idea?
That's getting right to the heart of it. The core analogy here, as described in the source, is absolutely brilliant and profoundly insightful. Companies are like team sports.
Team sports, like soccer, baseball.
Exactly. Soccer, baseball, ice hockey. And this isn't just some casual comparison. The source argues it's a profound operational truth. In these team sports, there's this critical interdependence, right?
Everyone has a role.
One missing player, one unfulfilled role, can literally disqualify an entire team from the league or at the very least prevent them from winning. This immediately highlights the inherent value and necessity of every single individual within an organization.
So no one is truly dispensable if the goal is collective success.
Precisely. Every role, every person is a critical component of the whole machine.
Okay, that makes sense.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it challenges the very paradigm of talent acquisition that's so prevalent today. Where the focus is often on finding that perfect, prepackaged individual, the star player.
Right, the unicorn hunt.
Exactly. It suggests that the problem isn't necessarily a deficit of talent out there, but potentially a deficit in understanding and leveraging the talent already available, or the talent that could flourish within the right structure.
So it's not a lack of players, but maybe poor coaching or team setup.
That's a great way to put it. And the source goes on to powerfully deconstruct this whole idea of the hero player.
Yeah.
Yes, every team, every organization has those individuals who score the points, who shine in the spotlight, who seem to be the obvious heroes.
There are the strikers, the quarterbacks.
But the crucial insight here is to shift focus from the hero themselves to the conditions that create the hero. The essence lies in understanding why that person was able to shine, not just that they shone. It's not simply about their individual prowess in isolation.
Exactly. It's about the unseen support, right? The foundational elements. The source beautifully details the invisible teammates.
The unsung heroes.
The ones who defend, who pass the ball or puck, who create the necessary space, who tirelessly cover ground, allowing that hero to focus single-mindedly on the goal.
They make the hero possible.
Absolutely. These are the players often overlooked, the ones whose contributions aren't always tallied on the scoreboard, whose names aren't in the headlines, but are absolutely essential for the team's overall success. Think about it. A company struggles with team productivity, constantly seeking star hires to fix it.
Right, the default reaction.
This source suggests they should instead analyze what prevents existing talent from shining. Is it a lack of clear roles, insufficient support, a culture that doesn't reward those unseen contributions?
It's a shift in perspective, looking inward first.
The insight is that a hero isn't a hero in every context or on every team. It's the organization's environment that elevates an individual to that status, allowing their innate strength to be amplified. It's not inherent in isolation. This insight alone could revolutionize how we structure teams and evaluate performance, moving from focusing on individual brilliance to collective enablement.
It certainly could. And this reframing of the hero concept is critical, I agree. It implies that true organizational strength isn't about recruiting a handful of superstars and expecting them to carry the entire load, or worse, leaving them isolated without support.
Right.
Instead, it's about meticulously designing an environment where anyone with potential can be put in a position to leverage their strengths, to contribute significantly, to become a hero in their own right, within their specific role.
Everyone gets a chance to shine in their own way.
Exactly. And to further illustrate this point, the source presents a powerful counterexample to the traditional hero narrative. Young teams.
Ah, the underdogs.
Think about those underdog teams, often with no established heroes, comprised of lower-salaried, less experienced players who still manage to win championships against more famous, higher-paid opponents. How do they do it? What's their secret?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the secret, as revealed in the source, is brilliantly simple and profoundly impactful. Every player is placed in positions that maximize their strengths.
Boom. There it is.
That's the core aha moment for organizational success, isn't it? The true essence the author was pointing to all along. It's not about how much you pay someone or how famous they are or how many traditional points they score on a resume.
None of that surface stuff matters as much.
It's about deeply understanding their innate abilities, what they genuinely excel at, what gives them energy, and then meticulously building the team around those unique strengths.
Fitting the role to the person.
Yes, not just trying to force the person into a rigid, predefined job description. It's about understanding individual talent in a holistic way, and then creating a role where that talent can truly flourish.
The profound implication of this insight is Well, it's truly transformative for how we think about talent and organizational resilience. The source explains that as long as individual strengths are being maximized, meaning people are doing what they do best, contributing effectively, feeling valued,
Engage.
that even with modest salaries, the organizational ship does not sink. In fact, it becomes stronger, more resilient, more effective as a cohesive unit.
Which is a radical consequence for traditional talent acquisition, right? Which often focuses on external hiring to fill perceived gaps.
Completely. If an organization genuinely operates this way, it no longer needs to actively search for new talent in the conventional, often frantic sense. Instead, talent will naturally be drawn to the strong ship.
Ah, interesting. Build it and they will come, essentially.
It fundamentally shifts the power dynamic from the employer desperately seeking talent to talent seeking out the best environments where they can contribute and thrive.
That's a powerful vision, a self-sustaining talent magnet, an organization that attacks the best because it cultivates the best from within. And the source reinforces this, doesn't it? By stating that a strong organization should prioritize talent discovered directly.
Yes, over those introduced by others, like recruiters or external agencies.
Right. The imperative isn't just to find people, it's to find their strengths, position them strategically, and turn them into new weapons for the organization.
New weapons, that's a strong phrase, but it emphasizes the strategic advantage.
It's an active, ongoing process of cultivation and development, seeing every individual as a potential asset that simply needs the right environment and strategic placement to thrive. It moves beyond that transactional view of hiring to one of continuous strategic placement, growth, and internal innovation.
Which suggests maybe the problem isn't a lack of capable individuals out there.
But a widespread failure in identifying, valuing, and strategically deploying those capabilities within existing structures. This is a fundamental challenge to the status quo, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And this brings us full circle, doesn't it? It boils down to truly seeing people, understanding their unique, often hidden strengths, and then intentionally creating an environment where those strengths can actually shine.
It's a radical shift from just ticking boxes on a checklist.
Or sending out those automated emails we started with.
Exactly. The source directly addresses one of the most painful aspects we discussed at the beginning, the impersonal templated rejection emails. It makes this direct, heartfelt plea, stop drying up the seeds of talent with these cold, generic messages.
Such a powerful image, drying up seeds.
It ties back perfectly to the personal struggle mentioned at the very outset. It shows how these seemingly small administrative actions can have a devastating impact on individuals and, cumulatively, on the overall talent pool. They kill potential before it even has a chance to sprout, fostering disillusionment rather than engagement.
And it extends this critique to how platforms like LinkedIn are often, well, profoundly misused.
Oh yeah, how so?
The source points out the irony. HR departments post looking for talent on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah,
But then they quickly get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of applications
I can imagine.
and simply stop reviewing them. They start relying instead on keywords or automated filters.
So they're not really looking anymore.
Exactly. It highlights this fundamental misunderstanding of the tool itself, a misapplication of its true power. The author critiques this by saying, unequivocally, the essence of LinkedIn is not job posts.
Okay, that's a bold statement. What is its essence then, according to the source?
Its essence remains what it always was, fundamentally.
Right.
A tool for enabling dialogue beyond the traditional, often stilted interview.
Ah, conversation, connection.
Precisely. Because, let's be honest, interviews alone often cannot truly discern genuine talent, or the essence of a person, as the source puts it.
They can be so performative.
They often are. Too formal, too structured, too prone to superficial judgments, and too focused on what someone says they can do, rather than what they actually do or how they truly operate.
Right.
LinkedIn, in its true form, is meant to open up conversations, to allow for a deeper, more organic understanding of a person's abilities, their passions, their collaborative spirit, their critical thinking, their potential, in ways a standard 30-minute interview simply cannot.
So how would that work in practice?
Well, imagine an HR professional using LinkedIn not just to filter resumes by keywords, but actually observe individuals engaging in industry discussions, maybe sharing thought-provoking articles or even collaborating on open-source projects.
Seeing them in action, sort of.
Exactly. This interaction reveals their essence, their true drive, their critical thinking, their collaborative spirit, in a way a resume or a structured interview never could. It's like watching an athlete perform in a real game versus just reviewing their stats sheet.
That's a fantastic analogy, and this calls for a fundamental paradigm shift then, the source argues. Don't use it for recruiter lead generation. Start using it to understand the essence of people.
A significant reframe.
It really is. It's about shifting from that transactional find and fill mindset to a more holistic understand and cultivate approach. If organizations genuinely adopted this philosophy, focusing on intrinsic strength and fostering environments for growth and real connection, what would the job market look like?
That's the big question, isn't it?
How would it transform the human experience of work? It could move maybe from this competitive, often dehumanizing scramble to a more collaborative, strength-based ecosystem where individuals are truly seen, valued, and positioned for their unique contributions. It's a powerful and hopeful vision, I think, a path out of that game that continues forever.
We've certainly taken a deep dive into some truly thought-provoking material today. It feels clear that the path to a healthier job market and stronger organizations isn't really about chasing the next shiny technology
No more magic bullets.
or relying on endless applications and algorithms. It's about getting back to basics, understanding people, their unique abilities, and how they fit into the bigger picture.
Yeah. We started with that incredibly painful personal experience of job seeking, moved through the whole paradox of AI, and arrived at this profound realization that organizational strength comes not from finding mythical unicorns, but from nurturing and strategically placing individual strengths, much like a cohesive sports team where every player has a vital role. The true solution seems to lie in seeing beyond traditional metrics and practices, focusing on the human element and its optimal deployment.
And, knowledge is most valuable when it's understood and applied. This material powerfully argues for that shift, doesn't it? Moving from a transactional, often dehumanizing view of employment to one rooted deeply in the human potential within an organization.
Looking inward.
Exactly. It encourages us all to look inward at how we cultivate talent, how we build our teams, rather than always seeking external, often elusive solutions. The insight that an organization thrives by enabling every individual to maximize their strengths, it's profound. It really suggests that many of the talent shortages we hear about might actually be, well, talent misplacement, or perhaps talent misunderstanding issues.
Talent misplacement, I like that.
A failure to truly see and utilize the strengths that are already present or easily accessible, perhaps right under our noses.
That's a really insightful way to put it. Talent misplacement. It really makes you think. So for you, our listener, here's maybe a final provocative thought to sit with after today's deep dive. If the essence of a thriving organization is truly the optimal placement and maximization of every individual's strengths, how might you begin to identify and advocate for your own hero position within your current role or your next opportunity?
Good question. Taking ownership.
And beyond that, how can you become one of those invisible teammates for others, helping them find their unique strengths and creating the conditions for their success, regardless of all the external noise and the current market dynamics?
That's something worth pondering deeply, I think. How we contribute to the whole ecosystem.